One of the biggest problems musicians face, especially early on, is simply being afraid to post your music. And I'm gonna keep it a bean, I can't blame you. You know what I'm saying? The fear is real. You start wondering, is it good enough? Are people gonna like it? Are people gonna clown me? And possibly even worse, you do post your beat and nobody says anything at all. Trust me, I've been there, bro. I've been making music for over 10 years. There's plenty and plenty of beats that have never seen the light of day and never will see the light of day. And especially early on, if I finally got the balls to post it, if it didn't get the response that, I don't know, I was expecting or something, I just delete it, bro. Sometimes I'd even scroll through my own stuff and just be like, I don't really like any of this. Or even worse, I'll see like some producers playing all these instruments and I just feel like a fraud and want to take something down. Over time, I finally found a way to push past all that, and now I pretty much just don't care what people think of my music. And in this video, I want to talk about the problem I face, what changed, and what my mindset is now. And hopefully, if you can relate, you'll get something from this video. So stick around, this could probably be the video that gets you to start posting all that heat you're sitting on in your hard drive. Okay, so the problem for the most part is insecurity, right? It's something people don't really talk about, but in the early days especially, I just did not feel confident putting my music out into the world. And I feel like that insecurity kind of comes from multiple things. I mean, a lot of people, they just make stuff and they just quite frankly don't like it. But one of the key reasons I feel like people might not like their stuff is because they're comparing themselves to others. That's like the main problem that me personally I faced. Whether it's the music or the content, whatever it may be, like a few examples from my end is, like I mentioned a little earlier, I've always been just like in the box, in Ableton, just making beats. You know, I have a beat pad or something like that. And me personally, when I started making content, I wasn't like a real finger drummer, you know what I'm saying? I'd be just kind of pretending on the pads, kind of a performance just to showcase my music, right? And early on, honestly, doing that really made me feel like a fraud, I'm not gonna lie. So that's one aspect of it. And then like I mentioned, I'd see all these incredible musicians playing guitar, playing keys, playing drums, playing all these different instruments. And to me back then, I felt like that is what a musician actually is. Like me just sitting here pushing buttons, like it's fraudulent, bro. So that alone was a big reason why I would hesitate to post my music. And when you're carrying that kind of insecurity, every post feels risky, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't just about the music, it would feel personal. I remember back in the day, one of the big negative comments I would get was like, bro's MIDI isn't even plugged in and stuff like that. Because I don't know, some people were really obsessed with whether or not I was actually playing what it looked like I was playing or not. They'd really be peeping that. Like take Beats by J Black, for example. He's literally the MPC king. He gets comments till this day of people saying, oh, but the MPC's not plugged in, when literally, bro, it's wireless and it has built-in speakers. But the difference between him and me is he can actually finger drum, and I actually was pretending. So that's one half of it, and that's really just the performance and the content side of it. But again, it also relates to the music. Like not only are these dudes using all these instruments so they look cooler, but the music, in my opinion, just sounded better to me. I didn't know music theory, I didn't know how to play keys. There was just a lot of stuff that I didn't know that made me feel like my music wasn't worthy to be seen and shown to the masses like that. And I'll keep it a bean, like in hindsight, probably wasn't. Like if I'm talking about the real early days of me making beats, like the beats probably were pretty bad back then, I don't know. But what I've learned over time is it's all subjective, you know what I'm saying? So like it could be good to someone if someone likes that electronic chopping samples, blah, 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 that kind of stuff, versus someone who might like to see somebody playing violin on top of whatever else they got going on in their studio, you know? But ultimately the problem was insecurity. Now you might be asking, what changed? So eventually I realized just how much energy I was wasting on trying to avoid judgment. Can't you see that that's kind of exhausting? Constantly doubting yourself and just perceiving that people are better than you just because guess what? They've been doing it longer. Everybody's story is just different. You might look at someone and just think, oh, they got everything figured out. But do you know that they've been working nonstop, getting blisters on their fingers to get good at guitar like that? No, you don't really see that. Like literally in this day and age of social media, you can see someone who just seems like they're just the best. They got perfect pitch and this and that, but you don't see the countless hours they spent working hard to get that skill. Meanwhile, you're comparing yourself to that person with 10 years of experience when you just started a few months ago, bro. You're still on a cracked version of FL Studio. You know what I'm saying? You haven't even paid for your DAW yet. You're not even paying for your plugins yet. You know what I'm saying? Not speaking from experience. Come on, early days, come on, you know. But to keep it 100 with you, everybody knows that comparison is the thief of joy. That is a popular quote. We all know that we shouldn't be comparing ourselves and this and that. That's not the point of this video. The real moment that changed everything for me, honestly, is when I graduated college, looked at how much student debt I had, and I realized I gotta make something work no matter what. So for me personally, I was not a people person. I wasn't going from studio to studio passing out flash drives. For me, it was just social media. I was probably watching Gary Vee at the time. But at the end of the day, the one thing that I knew for sure is that volume is king. So whether it was Gary Vee or like Russ dropping a song every week, for me personally, I knew that I just gotta be posting. So I was making beats and videos every single day. And I wanna say, one thing I learned from posting my music almost every day for like 2 years straight is you're gonna post some music that people like, and you're also gonna post some music that people don't like. But when you post something that people don't like, they're not just gonna dip. Like if they've already become a fan of you, if you post a bad beat or a bad song, they're not just gonna be like, oh, this guy sucks now. And if they do, they weren't real fans. You just have to understand that people really don't care as much as you care. They're not you. They're not living in your world. They don't know anything about you that you haven't shared with them. Picture you scrolling through your phone every day. Do you really care about all these people you scroll about? Eventually, you might find something and be like, ooh, this is dope. And you might actually follow them. And then you're going to check out what they're doing. That's how the world works. But realistically, once they put that phone down, you don't even exist, bro. So that realization for me is really what led me to just keep going and grinding and just posting and posting. Like there'll be times where maybe I don't even like a beat, but I was on a schedule, bro. If this beat wasn't max perfection in my eyes, but I had to post tomorrow, I'm gonna post it anyway. And guess what? Every now and then, that beat that I wasn't really rocking with skyrocketed. You know what I'm saying? The views went crazy. It's really not even up to you, bro. Some of your worst beats might be the people's favorites, because when you're at home overthinking all your music, someone else, they got no idea that you were tweaking that snare for 2 hours. They don't know that. They just hear it and they're like, oh, I rock with this. That happened to me so many times over my career. And like some of it was a pretty big deal. Like I tell this story all the time, but one of my biggest songs, Married Life, one of my first big viral instrumentals, and I almost didn't finish it. I was making the beat, didn't like it, but I decided to keep going thanks to some encouragement from my wife. And even then, I posted it on TikTok. It didn't pop off. It didn't flop, but it didn't do any crazy numbers. Then I posted it on Twitter. For some reason, it blew up. You know what I'm saying? And that led to like a bunch of brand deals and a bunch of crazy stuff. So that was another eye opener where I was like, bro, not only do I gotta just post everything, I gotta post everything everywhere, because you literally never know when or how something's gonna pop off. You never know who's gonna like it, who's gonna dislike it. Once you put it out into the world, it's not really up to you to decide how people are gonna take it in. So now, millions of streams later, all these years deep into my career, what is my mindset like? I'm gonna keep it a trillion with you. Nowadays, if I like it, I'm gonna post it. It really doesn't matter. And I don't even have to like it that much. But if I'm like, oh, there's something there, I'm gonna post it. It might flop, it might pop. You never know. But realistically, there's so much music, there's so much content out there that you deciding not to post your music isn't gonna matter either. So you might as well post it. And that is specifically about the music, right? This video isn't about the low numbers. I already did a video on like why I post even though no one's watching, and that one is really about numbers. But at the end of the day, having low numbers is always gonna suck. You make a beat that you love so much and you spend all this effort in, and when you post it, the response you expected isn't there. It's soul crushing stuff, bro, but it's just gotta be temporary. That's it. When you're down and you're sad about the low numbers of a specific song or video, it just has to be temporary. The feeling is gonna pass as long as you keep going. That's just how it is. And I can say that because I personally feel like I've fallen off at least 25 times in the past 7 or so years. So if you just keep going and stay consistent, not only are you gonna improve your skills, but you're also just gonna be picking up more and more genuine fans along the way. To sum it all up, what would I say to someone who came up to me and said, Dre, I'm scared to post my music? You know what I'd say? Don't do it, bro. You don't have to have a career. You don't have to make this a job. I be on the synthesizer Reddit, and there's so many people on there that are just buying all these synths and stuff and just making music for fun, bro. They got a decent 9-to-5 that's paying the bills, and they're just making music. If you're truly scared to the point where it's not even worth it, then just don't post it, bro. Just keep making music for fun, bro. No pressure. It is what it is. But if you want people to hear you and you want to build a career, quite simply, you gotta put yourself out there. There's no way around it. In fact, what you need to do is post so much music that it doesn't even make any sense for people to keep overlooking you. That's what I did. That's what I'm continuing to do till this day. The grind doesn't stop, bro. But yeah, let's open this up to the community though. If you're a musician, artist, producer, whatever, and you've been doing this for long enough to see some success and some lows and ups and downs and all that kind of stuff, drop some tips in the comments. What is it that is keeping you going, and why is it that you continue to post your music? And if you want to schedule some time to talk to me directly, I just opened up some slots for my one-on-one coaching sessions. The link will be in the description. We can talk about anything. I can listen to your music, check out your socials and everything, and we can just talk branding, strategy, whatever you want. If you need somebody, I'm here. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.